12:51 in the morning, and we're up editing client work. Obviously, not the fancy shit, but it's got to be done. All right, it's got to be done. At the end of the day, sometimes you got to do shit you don't like to do. So we're doing it. It's about time I get a team, a solid team, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be editing all of the client work. At the end of the day, I got to close deals too. I got to film projects for clients too. I got to film my own stuff too. So telling you, man, that's where the team comes in. And I've been saying that I'm gonna build a team, but I keep going back to, no, I'm gonna just edit this client project. No, I'm gonna just edit this client project. And it's not even that I love editing. I like editing my own stuff, which is different. But when it comes to editing client work, it's just very repetitive, repetitive, repetitive. And I do like the end result when I edit client work. I do like being able to be like, wow, look at my work. I'm proud of it, right? And I just rewatch it so many times, right? Because obviously I edited it, but it gets boring. It's super boring. So that's why we get in our headspace when it's time to edit. And I like editing stuff that's enjoyable. It's like you're not going to draw things if you're an artist, right? You're not going to draw things you don't really enjoy drawing, but you're going to draw things that you enjoy drawing because that's the creative art and that's what you enjoy doing is things that you actually like drawing. And doesn't mean that I don't enjoy editing my client work, which to be honest I really don't. However, I do enjoy the reaction that I get from them because I can then be like, this is what I did, bro. And then they could be like, damn, you killed it. And I'm like, sure did. And I'm like, yeah, that's my work, right? And you're proud of what you edited, but when you're up at fucking 12:53 now in the morning editing, it's not so much fun. You're like, fuck, I want to go to sleep, or like, fuck, I'm done with this shit, right? So right now I'm in the talks with one editor, and I'm thinking of bringing him on as my white label editor because, dude, I have too many projects to edit and they are taking me too long to edit, which I have had clients that have left me because obviously I took forever, and I don't blame them, but I did take forever on the edits. And now it's time to just bring on a team member because if I can focus on closing the deals and focus on the filming, which is what I enjoy, to be honest, and which is where I can help clients shine the most because I can guide them through the talking head content as well as the B roll that I'm going to be filming. And not only that, but then I can also start getting more referrals because I'm on set with the clients and they enjoy how I guide them through the filming of the content. So that's when they start to look at me like, whoa, this guy knows what he's doing. But it's not like they're with me when I'm editing and they're like, whoa, he knows what he's doing. It's only until I deliver the project that they're like, whoa, he knows what he's doing. Right. So if I can bring on a team member that's going to edit all the client work for me, then I that shaves a lot off my plate. Like I'm talking a lot because dude, for a 1 minute video, oh my God, dude, that's like that takes hours of editing at times, depending on what kind of project you're working on. However, not to say that editing is boring. I think editing is boring, but when I'm editing my own stuff, I can sit there and edit and edit and edit, and I won't get bored as fast. I will eventually get bored. However, I won't get bored as fast because it's my own shit. And so I'm able to then edit with a passion because it's my stuff. It's the shit that I like to edit, which is my content. Obviously, I'm biased to it because I do like editing my own stuff since it's me. And I prefer to edit my stuff because it's my art that I'm creating with the camera. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that I'm never going to edit client work again. If I have to, I will. But what matters to me is that at least I know the skill. I know how to edit. That's not a problem at all. I know how to edit. I know how to edit the timeline, do the multicams. I know how to open up the projects. I know how to edit photos as well and how to make them for printable files. I already know the whole deal. And I'm not saying that I'm this expert editor. However, Most seven figure business owners, I realize, they delegate the shit that they don't like to do and the shit that they are not good at. So you might as well follow that example, because there's no reason for me to sit there hours and hours and hours on end editing when it's not even something I enjoy. There's someone that enjoys it so much more than I do, and I could just do what I enjoy the most, is closing the deals, hitting the gym, and then building the relationships, shaking the hands, not that I shaking the hands and making sure that I'm actually out doing what I got to do, is building those relationships and closing those deals, because that's what I enjoy doing, and making content just like this. I love documenting the journey. And I have it in a minute, but however, the reason I'm doing it right now is because it's fucking late. And I thought, what a better time to make a video. And that's when I was like, look, fucking 12:57 a.m. Might as well get to fucking filming something, because at the end of the day, I'm here fucking editing on DaVinci Resolve. Best editor, by the way, best editing software there is. And it's like, dude, fuck, it's like this shit never ends, bro. It never fucking ends with the edits, because I'm sitting here all fucking day editing, and I'm like, dude, I could have been reaching out to people and closing deals. I could have been fucking on sales calls. I could have been making content that actually brings customers. Editing doesn't bring new customers. It really doesn't. It's back end work. And so today I was working on this right here. Oh, fucking canceled my shit. I ejected my SSD. However, because I was about to wrap up, and honestly, I'm just making this video just because it's so late, and I just want to remember this moment right now, because I don't want to touch any more timelines. I don't want to have to edit any more client work. I really don't. I've been doing it for so long already. I've been editing so much client work that I am so sick of it. And I am just tired of sitting on a computer looking at a fucking timeline, because I know for a fact that it's not bringing me new clients when I'm doing it. And it's not even something I enjoy, if I'm being honest. So, what we're doing right now is making sure that I'm actually going to focus on closing deals and focus on the filming with the client. So right now I got a client that I'm going to speak to tomorrow, because we're filming for her wedding venue in St. George. And what that's going to do is possibly open up some doors in the St. George area here in Utah, to be able to get more clients just like that. But now I have an editor that has a bunch of editors under him. And what we're going to do with that is just hand off all the editing projects to this editor and his team. Because at the end of the day, what I should be doing right now is doing what I enjoy, which is closing the deals and filming. The only thing I really enjoy is making content, to be honest with you. Making content, closing deals, right? And filming. To be honest, I enjoy filming more than editing, unless it's my shit that I'm editing. Again, editing my stuff is just fun because it's me, obviously. Of course, call me self centered, whatever you want to call me. But at the end of the day, you edit things that you enjoy. And I enjoy editing my own stuff because I know that it's me rocking my own jersey at the end of the day. So, what we're going to do is team up with some solid editors, not just the one I have, but team up with some solid editors that I will never have to fucking touch a timeline again unless I actually want to. Okay. I am the type that I'd rather be shaking hands and closing deals and be on the field filming, and having team members with me filming as well, which I have one team member right now that I film with, or should I say that films with me. And I'm going to just keep being the front end of things, because that's the only way to 30K a month, for me at least, is not doing the back end work, the fulfillment. I'd rather just have a bird's eye view and be able to fulfill clients and making sure that they're being fulfilled, but me not having to do the fulfillment. However, making sure that the fulfillment is on point. Because damn, dude, I've edited so much fucking client projects that it is fucking bananas. It is crazy how much time I've put into editing. I mean, as you can tell, look, 1:02 a.m. right now. And what do you think I was doing? I was fucking editing projects, right? Client work that, again, I'm pretty behind on, but right now it's all up to me. If I don't edit, shit doesn't get delivered. If I don't go out and film, nothing gets fulfilled, right? If I don't close the deal, we don't got revenue coming in. So that's where you got to realize solopreneurs, they're not a thing. They're not going to make it to seven figures. Very unlikely that they will make it to seven figures. You need a team, you need leverage, you need people around you that are also going to help you move forward because you can't do it all by yourself. And this is my fucking lesson, which I've already known this shit, by the way. However, you just get stuck on the operating trap, on the operations of the business and fucking closing deals and then doing this and doing that and fucking everything, bro. I do everything in my business, but that's because we're on the beginning stage for the most part. And yet I've been at it for like 6 years, man. 6 years already. And I'm still fucking doing everything. However, I don't regret none of it because at the end of the day, hey, I know how to fucking do the thing. All right. That's one thing I'm grateful for. I've worked for free for motherfuckers that don't know how to film, yet they got the cameras. They don't know how to edit, yet they expect you to edit for them for free. And they don't even know shit about frame rates, shutter speeds, ISOs, what dual ISO is, what the base ISO is to certain cameras. They don't know the technicality of filming and editing and content. They don't know what goes behind it when it comes to the technical stuff, to the creation of it. They don't really know. Yet they're making so much money in what they do. Why? Because they have leadership skills. They know what people go in what places and they know what needs to move and who's going to move it for them. I've seen motherfuckers have very good leadership, be very good at speaking, and yet they don't even know what their own cameras do. Yet they have the equipment. They just put the people behind that equipment and then they get to work. However, the difference between them and I is that I've been through the trenches myself. I know how to work the cameras. I know how to work the timelines inside the editors. I know how to work all of the things that requires solid content that performs. I know how to make the content and I know what goes into play. And yet I'm out here fucking juggling everything by myself, but however, doesn't mean that this is going to stay like this forever. I may be up at 1:05 a.m. right now doing all the editing and stuff. 26 years old right now. Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. But that's not going to be forever, dude. I will have a team of editors that will just handle all the fulfillment as far as the editing goes for me and kill it, just like I do, but maybe even better. And I will have me filming. However, I will also have videographers filming with me. And I'm not saying this to say, oh, I'm going to be the holy grail of everything. No, I'm saying this just to document this because I will look back at this and be like, damn, bro, I remember when you were doing everything yourself, when you were up at 1 a.m. doing it all yourself, fucking living on a couch, your friend, basically fucking homeless for the most part. However, that doesn't end here. This is just the start. This is just the beginning. All right. So we made it to 1:06 a.m. It's time to wrap it up, dude. I gotta go to sleep. I got a sales call tomorrow. Um, we're gonna close it, obviously. It's already in the bag pretty much. But this is what you gotta do, man. Sometimes you gotta do what it takes and you gotta do what most people aren't willing to do. And if that means staying up at 1:06 a.m., then so be it.